What's going on, everyone? The Utah Jazz have hit the full reset button and are planning to trade Donovan Mitchell. One of the big reasons that they are planning to trade Donovan Mitchell is because they believe he is gone either way. A Donovan Mitchell deal is very likely to happen this season. They think it's a matter of when, not if, that sooner or later Donovan Mitchell will be on another team and Utah will completely start rebuilding. The beauty is that Donovan Mitchell isn't putting a lot of pressure on them. They're not, trying to really force the Utah Jazz's hands. I think they both have that mutual understanding. That Donovan Mitchell he wants to go elsewhere, and they want to trade him elsewhere because they want to rebuild. Based on reports that came out recently yesterday, they talked about how Donovan Mitchell is ready to move on. Utah is ready to move on, as well as the Utah Jazz don't believe that Donovan Mitchell is going to be here for the long haul, that they believe he is gone. So that being said, now where does he go and when does he go is a big question, right? Well, for starters, the Knicks are the number one option, right? That's the number one contender, it seems like, by consensus, that Donovan Mitchell is going to go to the Knicks. They have all the assets, they have all the packages, they have everything they need to put together to acquire a guy like Donovan Mitchell, especially for a team like the Utah Jazz, who would be fully rebuilding, right? The issue is that the Knicks have not been willing to give up any real major package. The previous package, although we don't know exactly what it is, there have been some reports, but they're kind of all over the place. The only thing that we know was that it was a very low ball offer when they first spoke on Donovan Mitchell, and since then, that offer has basically just stopped. That's where the conversation has ended. There was a report 2.5 weeks now. They haven't had communications, but the original package was like two firsts from the consensus. Because, like I said, I've seen like several reports that say like several different things on the initial like low ball package, but the consensus seems to be like 2 to 3 picks, and then like one or two of like their young guys like Grimes or Toppin or something like that. Now, some people might look at that and go, it's not a low package, but I mean, for the price that stars are going for Donovan Mitchell, who's a proven commodity, I mean, those picks, like you're talking 2 first round picks, like it's just, and one of them I think was like a Heat's pick or a Dallas pick, one of the two, and yeah, it's just there it wasn't a serious offer, and all the reports say that it was a serious offer. The Knicks basically balked at the offer and were like, call us when you have a real offer, or sorry, the Jazz, and then the Knicks, they were the team that you make your initial offer, right? You never go all in on your first offer, right? Yeah, you go in, you throw a couple chips, and you go, hey, here's what I think, and then they go, you're crazy, get out of here. We want the stars, the moon, and the sun, and then you start chipping away at it. But based on reports, there don't seem to be any urgency with the Knicks. So it'll be interesting to see if maybe things ramp up. Granted, a lot of people, they're kind of waiting around on the whole Kevin Durant trade, right? I think Kevin Durant this week he's supposed to meet and talk to Joe Tsai to potentially come to a conclusion. And once that happens, if we get a conclusion, I think we start seeing like dominoes fall. Whether Kevin Durant gets traded or not, I think you'll see other teams kind of push harder for Donovan Mitchell because, as great as Donovan Mitchell is, they're the teams that can probably trade for Donovan Mitchell, they likely could trade for Kevin Durant. So it's like, do we wait and see, or do we go after Donovan Mitchell? So I think that becomes a problem too. I think that it's just Donovan Mitchell is like the consolation prize if you fail to get Kevin Durant. Unless you're a team like Boston, like to Boston, it makes sense to go get Kevin Durant and not Donovan Mitchell because, Donovan Mitchell is not Jaylen Brown. Where Jaylen Brown is not Kevin Durant. I think that's a big difference too. But I think overall, like, I just think that Donovan Mitchell's trade likely doesn't happen until Kevin Durant's situation is figured out, whether he's traded or he stays. Because I just think, again, all these teams, they're trying to see. And it might drive the asking price for Donovan Mitchell up because, say, Boston does get Kevin Durant, right? Do other teams now start going, I don't know if we can compete with them. They were just in the finals and, 2 wins away from winning the finals. And now they just added Kevin Durant as an upgrade. Like, should we go get Donovan Mitchell? And that just drives up the asking price because now you have teams bidding, you have teams trying to get Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell, he's a good, not great player. He's not a top 15 guy in the league. I personally don't even think he's a top 20 guy in the league. I think he's really good. I think he's a guy that, has proven that he can be your go-to scorer night in and night out. But I don't think he's the guy that if he's the best player on your team, you're winning a championship. I think Donovan Mitchell is more of a second, maybe even like super third option. But I think you could get away with him as like your second option, like your second go-to scoring option. And, like I do. I think Donovan Mitchell is that guy. But as like your number one option on a team, he's the guy that's leading the charge on the team. I just don't think you're a contender personally. I just think, he's undersized. Although he does have a 6'10 wingspan for, a 6'1 guard. But he hasn't shown that he can play defense. Although he was known as a defensive stopper when he came into the league, which I think is kind of ironic. But he hasn't, and maybe it's where he's at, right? Maybe he's just tired of Utah. He's burnt out and he wants to go elsewhere. Maybe we'll see a new, revigorated Donovan Mitchell who's like, playing defense and locking people up. I don't think so, but it's a possibility. It's going to be curious to see where he ends up, where he lands. As much as the Knicks seem to want him, I don't think it makes a lot of sense for the Knicks. I mean, you got Jalen Brunson, so why would you trade for Donovan Mitchell, who's essentially the same player? I mean, they're both 6'1 guards that don't play defense and can score 20 a game. Like, you got that. Like, is it, I guess, to have two? But then you have, like, the worst defensive backcourt in the league. It's just, I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me personally for why the Knicks would want to go get Donovan Mitchell when you have Brunson. But I mean, if they're willing to pull a deal out, like if they come to the conclusion that they're serious about Donovan Mitchell and they really want him, the Knicks have enough to go get him and still have assets. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But outside of the Knicks, it seems to be like the Wizards, but Bradley Beal and Donovan Mitchell. Like, how is that going to work? Like, I feel like that backcourt is just as bad as the Knicks. Might be a little more versatile, but still, I don't think it's that much better. I don't think you upgrade the Knicks that much better. But I mean, it's not. I think it might be a slightly better fit than the Knicks to have, and it might entice Bradley Beal to stay, right? Because Bradley Beal signed that contract. But many people are worried that, hey, at any point he could say, I want out because I'm not happy. It's the whole get your money now while you can thing. So, yeah, okay. And then the Charlotte Hornets. But, what are the Hornets going to trade? Because Utah is a rebuilding team. And again, you got LaMelo and Donovan Mitchell. I think that might be the best fit out of all of them. But again, you're not great defensively, but what are they going to give up? A lot of the guys that the Hornets have now that Bridges, his situation, a lot of the guys that they have are older, long-term deals, which Utah's not going to want. Utah doesn't. They're rebuilding. They want draft picks, young players. That is it. Maybe give up a PJ Washington. Okay, I don't know. I don't think the Hornets have enough to put a package together to make that work. And then I don't think that I just don't think the Wizards really do either. They don't have a lot of young, that dude could be a star one day players. They're all kind of just your average run of the mill guys. And yeah, they have their draft picks, but Utah wants more than draft picks unless you're giving them 15 draft picks. So anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What do you think about Donovan Mitchell? Where do you think he ends up? Do you think like, okay, yeah, Jazz believe he's gone. He's gone. It's just a matter of when. It's not if. Do you think that he lands with the Knicks? Do you think he lands with the Hornets? Do you think he lands with another team, the Wizards? What team do you think you could see Donovan Mitchell playing on next season? And which team do you think Donovan Mitchell would fit the best, as well as like where he'd be happy? Because that's another thing that I don't think anyone's really talked about, or at least I haven't seen people talk about it. Is like, is he gonna go somewhere that he's not happy going to? Like, is he gonna be okay? Like, because I mean, we haven't really heard anything from Donovan Mitchell and from his side. So it's like, like what does he want? Has he given Utah the green light to trade him wherever? Or is he like, I want to go to the Knicks, but we'll keep it hush hush so that way you can get the best return, and you could kind of talk to other teams and stuff. So it's not just like Knicks or bust, because obviously if Donovan Mitchell says I'm going to the Knicks and nowhere else, the Knicks have all the leverage and power now and they don't have to give up anything. But if they kind of leave it open, it's like, well, all these other teams want him, so it keeps the leverage for the Jazz. But I'm curious what conversations have happened behind closed doors. If Donovan Mitchell was like, look, you're trading me to the Knicks. Like, I'm not going anywhere else. I'm curious to see how that plays out. But anyway, again, however you feel about it, I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. That being said, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification. Stay up to date with all things sports. Join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.